Hello and welcome to Eat, Ride, Repeat. So today we are riding the Triumph Daytona 660. Well, since our channel is Eat first, then Ride and then Repeat, we've already eaten at this McDonald's in Manesar, and now we are going to ride the Daytona to see what she has to offer. So well, this is the new Daytona 660. A lot of people say that the name Daytona isn't really a justice to what this motorcycle is, and specifically the previous Daytona. Yes, the previous Daytona was a proper track tool. This is not. This is more of a sports touring motorcycle. But I believe the makers, Triumph, wanted to create a product that is more usable in the everyday life of a typical rider like me. So that's one of the reasons why the 660 makes more sense to me. It has less power, a slightly smaller engine, less torque than the 675, but it's not less fun in any manner. So the 660 triple three-cylinder motor is fantastic. It's rev happy, sounds good, refined I would say at lower RPMs, doesn't give any jolts or jerks, and when you twist the throttle, this is what happens. So what exactly does this Daytona do? Different or better than the previous one? That's a very interesting question, and a lot of enthusiasts would say that this in no way is better than the previous one, but there is one tick box where this one checks up but the other one doesn't. Contrary to what it looks like, it's a sports tourer, this one is a complete, absolute mile muncher. I have ridden 800 kilometers on this in 24 hours and didn't break a sweat, no fatigue, no tiredness of any sort. And I think that's where this motorcycle truly comes out. The engine delivers amazing power, not very high, I think around 94-95 PS of power, but very usable power. On top of it, the suspension setup is rather on the softer side, which is not an ideal setup for a track, but on the road it works just fine. The tires, this one comes with Michelin's, and while I am not a big fan of the Michelin, at least in sports bikes, but this one does the job very well. I haven't had any reason to complain or any problem whatsoever. Also, the bike comes with ABS and traction control. And the traction control on the Daytona, I would say, is a gem. It performs very well, and I have ridden the bike in rain and have never had a problem with traction. If anything, it has saved me on a couple of occasions from getting into a fishtail. So typical Sunday morning setup, everybody's out riding their bikes. But because of the compact nature or size, the Daytona, it is very nimble and flexible in the city traffic. Three-cylinder configuration allows the makers to make the bike really compact. That's an advantage because it's not very big or bulky to handle. Daytona 660 comes with a pair of LED headlamps in the front. While stock headlamps for most motorcycles are not adequate, especially the road condition that we have in India, but I haven't had any chance to complain from the Daytona. The stock headlamps are bright enough and the throw is pretty strong. I used to ride a Duke 390 before this, which has a very straight sitting position. I always assumed that a straight position will be more comfortable. Longer rides on the Duke 390 were very tiring for me in particular. But ever since I've ridden the Daytona, my perception has completely changed. This position and this posture is far more comfortable than any other naked bike. For example, I also rode the Triumph Scrambler 400 and found the Daytona to be way more comfortable than that. There's only one minor problem with the bike. Ground clearance is very low. I have to be extra careful whenever there is a bump on the road or if there is a speed breaker. It generally scratches its bottom on almost every speed breaker. Another interesting observation about the Daytona is the gear ratio. The first gear, unlike other motorcycles in this category, in this engine capacity segment, first gear on Daytona is very short, hardly 20 to 30 kilometers an hour. That's where it takes you. The sixth gear, however, is super tall. I'll show you. I'm going to go as low as 40 kilometers an hour, and once you twist the throttle, the bike responds within the sixth gear itself.